It's important to be able to convert numbers from improper fractions to mixed numbers and from mixed numbers to improper fractions. Why is that the case? Well, first let's look at what each one is. An improper fraction is a fraction with a value greater than 1. And we know to recognize an improper fraction because the fraction is 1 with a numerator that is greater than the denominator. So anytime you see a fraction with a numerator greater than the denominator, that is an improper fraction. And the word improper should tell you that it's not quite right, because we don't ever, or at least we usually don't, accept an answer to a math problem in the form of an improper fraction. And the reason for that is it's actually not simplified. So why do we need improper fractions? Well, we need them because in order to multiply and divide with fractions, we cannot multiply and divide mixed numbers. So we need to change our mixed numbers into improper fractions. That brings us to mixed numbers, which are a mixture of part fraction, part whole number. And the thing about a mixed number is its value is always greater than 1. So obviously 1 3/5 is greater than 1. It's 1 plus 3/5. So now we're going to take a look at some models to see how we can express improper fractions as mixed numbers and vice versa. So let's take a look at the first example, which is a whole bunch of fourths. Now, if I look at this model clearly shows 1 whole and 3/4. Okay, so as a mixed number, this is 1 and 3/4. Well, that was pretty easy. Well, it's just as easy from this model to see that 1 and 3/4 is, well, let's see. There are 4/4 in this rectangle, and 1, 2, 3/4 here. And if I add them together, that will give me 7/4, or I can just count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/4. So we can see that 1 and 3/4 is equal to 7/4. Okay, let's look at one other example with a model, and let's do the improper fraction first. Okay, so how would we do that? Well, this is 3/3 and another 3/3, and then we have one more thirds. So we have 3, 6, 7/3. So the improper fraction is 7/3, and that's what we would use if we were doing a multiplication or division problem. But we don't want to express our final answer as an improper fraction, so we need to know what that is as a mixed number. Well, this is 1 whole, this is 1 whole, and this is 1/3. And so together we have 1 plus 1, which is 2, plus 1/3, which is 2 and 1/3. Well, that's great. It's nice to be able to look at models and to recognize what fraction or mixed number they are, but you know what? Nobody wants to do this. I do because I'm a math teacher, but when you have a problem or several problems that you want to do, you want an easier way. So let's do both of these without the models. So the first one is 1 and 3/4. I want to know what 1 3/4 is as an improper fraction. So the first thing I need to do is I need to have an internal dialogue with myself. I need to ask myself, how many fourths, right? How many 1/4 are in 1 3/4? Why am I asking myself that question? Because if we go back to the model, that's what we're doing, right? When we want to find an improper fraction, we're looking at the mixed number, and I'm saying, how many fourths are there all together in that 1/2 and the 3/4? So I know that my denominator of my improper fraction will always be the same as the fraction part of the mixed number. That will not change. So my question, how many fourths are there? Well, again, if I look back at the model, I have 1/2, which is 4/4, right? So I take my whole number and I say, well, 1 times 4, because 1/2, 4 pieces in that 1/2, that would be 4/4 plus the numerator, because that's how many extra pieces there are, right? So there's 1 times 4, which is the whole, plus another 3, because I have 3/4 or 3 pieces left. So 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is 7, and that would give me 7/4. Now, let's look at 2 1/3. 2 1/3. Okay, so I want to know how many thirds are there. So again, my fraction will be thirds. In this case, I have 2 wholes, right? I have 1, 2. Each has 3 pieces, so that would be 2 times 3 pieces in each would be 6, plus the 1 extra, and that would be 7. So there we go. So that's how we do it without the models. All right, so we multiply the whole number times the number of pieces, and then we add the numerator, because that's how many extra pieces. Now, what about converting from an improper fraction to a mixed number? Well, you know what? Just to be consistent, let's take the same fractions, because we already know the answers. So let's say we want to know what is 7/4 as a mixed number. We have to remember that every fraction is a division problem. Okay, and as long as we remember that, we can think, okay, 7/4 is 7 divided by 4. And if you want to do your division with your little house, 7 divided by 4. Okay, and so 4 goes into 7 one time, and 1 times 4 is 4, so I'm going to subtract 4, and I get 3. Now, once I get that 3, and I know I can't make a group of 4, I know that there are 3 pieces left out of a group of 4, and so that will give me 3 out of 4. So again, we know that that's the correct answer, 1 and 3 out of 4. Now let's take 7/3. 7/3 equals what mixed number? Well, that would be 7 divided by 3. 3 goes into 7 2 times, and that's going to be 6. And I have 1 left over. That 1 remainder becomes my numerator. I have 1 left out of the group size that I'm making, which in this case is 3. So that would be 2 1/3. And again, it's important because we have to have our numbers as improper fractions when we multiply and divide. And then when we want to communicate our answer, we want mixed numbers, because mixed numbers are actually the simplified version. So again, if you think about money, if I have 9 quarters in my pocket, okay, if I have 9 quarters, and I want to know how much money I have, well, I have to do a little math. I have to figure that out. But if I say to you, instead of 9 quarters, if I say I have $2 and 1/4, okay, so that would be like the mixed number. 9 quarters would be 9/4, and $2 and 1/4 would be 2 wholes, 2 and 1/4. So again, it's a lot easier to picture $2 and 1/4. It's a lot easier to picture what a mixed number is, and that's why we turn our improper fractions into mixed numbers after we do our math work.